Money's moving to me. I'm a millionaire. Money by the cases. I ain't gotta chase it. Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, beautiful people? Happy Sunday to you all. I hope that you've had an amazing day thus far. If not, it's about to get that much better, darling. So if you're watching me live, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. Rep your city, rep your country. Let me know where in the virtual building you are watching me from on tonight, darling. Let me know who's here. Go ahead and comment on the chat box. Let's see who's here. I don't plan to be before you long, right? I'm not going to be before you long. I say that sometimes and that doesn't happen. But no, I'm going to be intentional this time because I have a lot of things that I'm going to be sharing with you all in our private Single Wives Academy, honey. So I can't do it all live here, but you have access to that coming very soon. So stay tuned. Hey, 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 California's in the house. Hey, Miss Shauna, welcome. So listen, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and do my intro as I always do. Hey, Andrea, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while, darling. Happy New Year to you as well. Y'all go ahead and share this broadcast because we want to help all the single wives out there. Listen, what I'm going to share is going to be a blessing to those that want to actually receive what is it I'm talking about and are open to growing, all that good stuff, right? So make sure you share. Now, let me get into my intro as I always do. My name is Sharita Leon. I went from being a homeless, disabled single mom to a two-time #1 best-selling author with books that were on the bestsellers list for over 2 years straight. I'm also a life relationship and business coach, an internet marketing strategist, entrepreneur, international speaker, and the protege of the legendary Les Brown, a Forex trader and investor, and I empower my tribe to live their God-given purpose while creating wealth and have healthy relationships. I'm also a believer and my faith is exuded in all that I do. So welcome, honey. So tonight we are going to talk about what masculine men actually want. Now, this is the thing. There's so much going on in our culture these days. And I'm telling you, we see so many different things. We see people that believe in one thing or another. And, hey, you are free to believe whatever you want to believe. But I am called to a certain type of woman. And the woman that I'm called to is a woman who, one, is a highly influential woman, a woman who is tapping into her feminine energy, a woman who is a wife while she is still waiting to be found, a woman who also is very attractive to masculine energy, a masculine man. She is looking for a king of king. You hear me? Like she knows what she wants. And so we want to make sure that we are becoming and attracting what it is we actually desire. Now, let me tell you something. As a woman who has always said from like forever, I want a masculine man. If my best friend was watching, she'd tell you, Sharita's always talking about that alpha male, alpha male, alpha male, right? Well, this is the thing. While I always wanted and still do want the alpha male, there was something that I was missing that I didn't realize, right? See, I didn't realize what an alpha male actually really wants is feminine energy. A masculine man wants feminine energy. A masculine man does not want a woman that's just as masculine as he is. Now, let me tell you something. And many of us who are strong Black women or strong women, period, we take pride in being strong. We take pride in having to do everything on our own. We take pride of where we've come from. And yes, you should go ahead and be very proud of what you have been able to accomplish on your own, whether that be raising children, whether that be success in your career or in your business endeavors. Absolutely pat yourself on the back. You deserve it. With that being said, you don't want to stay in your masculine if you say you desire a masculine man. Now, this is the thing. Both men and women both carry both energies. We both have masculine tendencies as women, and men have feminine energy in them as well. It's being able to have more of one, right? And we can kind of always tell when one has more than the other. Well, for me, I was always tapped in more into my natural instinct to get things done because I had to. And so it is with many women that are strong that have had to do things on their own, whether it's raising their children, like I said before, or whether it's being able to be a leader. And so leaders, when they're able to lead, they find a gap somewhere. And so they take initiative. That's what leaders do. Leaders see a gap, they say, okay, here's a solution, let's fill in the gap, and they're ready to go. Now, that's a great characteristic and characteristic and attribute to have when you're in the workspace. It's great to have when you're out there building your business. But when it's time to be in a relationship and you say you want to be with a masculine man, you have to learn how to properly use your leadership in such a way where you tap in with your feminine energy as opposed to being masculine where you want to take over. And because there are so many of us who are in leadership positions, we're in corporate positions. When we come home, we don't always know how to take that hat off. We don't always know how to switch off the knob, right? And so you come into this relationship trying to do the same thing and it's not working. So what happens? You may meet a very good, amazing masculine man, but then he doesn't stay. Or maybe you find yourself always, arguing, or it's just not flowing. Well, it's not flowing because it's like having a beast with two heads, right? It's like anything with two heads is a monster. And so now you have these two heads that are clashing with each other. So how do we tap in? How do we see the difference? One of the things that I could think about now that I've matured, I understand. I used to think about feminine energy and a feminine woman in such the wrong way. And many of you, if you're watching, if you're honest, and if you are someone that you deem to be strong, you would probably often say that a feminine woman is weak. Right? A woman who's tapping into her feminine energy, she's really, one that is maybe soft spoken, one who is meek, one who is submissive. We probably call that woman weak, right? I know I do. Let me tell you a true story. So I remember one of my exes, right? We had gone our separate ways, but we were still really good friends. And I saw the new person he had in his life, and I was like, I couldn't understand. I was like, why? And he was like really in love with this girl, okay? And I'm like, why? What? I don't understand. I don't get it. Here you are, this progressive man, very masculine, very, about your business. How are you with someone who's so weak? You want one of those weak girls, what I said. You want one of those weak, quiet girls that can't do nothing. And all that she does is say, yes, sir, yes, sir. That's what I was saying in my ignorance. But see, this is the thing. While I thought sis was weak, sis was the strongest one out of the entire equation. And let me tell you why. Sis knew exactly how to use her feminine energy to inspire that man to do whatever she wanted him to do. She was not the prettiest, she didn't have the banging body, but she knew exactly how to make him feel like a king. She knew exactly how to influence him to do what she wanted by tapping into her feminine energy, by knowing how to speak and when to speak and how to, use her voice inflections when she needed to. She knew exactly how to make him feel amazing. And this is the thing. I'm going to do another video on this, another time. But a masculine man, a man that is a king, he doesn't really care that much about how successful you are. Oh, I know it's going to mess up somebody's mind. Like, what would you mean? He doesn't really care how successful you are. He more so is concerned about how can you make him feel? How can you make him feel? Does he feel like a king in your presence? Does he feel like you are his safe place? Does he feel like you've created such this safe haven that he can be both Clark Kent and Superman with you at the same time? See, y'all a little too quiet here tonight. If you're watching me live, go ahead and comment. I need to know who's here. Who am I talking to tonight, honey? Let me find out. Hey, see, there you go, trying to change that. And I'm glad that you're on that journey. I'm on the journey as well. And listen, I have grown a lot. I have grown a lot. And if many that have been following me for some time, you would have seen the difference, right? And so I realized that the reason why I wanted the masculine man and would attract it, yet it would go left, is because I still was in my masculine. I was still trying to get stuff done. I still wanted to move at my pace and speed. And that did not create a safe haven in the respect of a man feeling like he could be a man in a relationship. Now, some may watch this and say, well, what does that really mean? I don't believe in gender roles. And hey, that's fine for you. Amen. As for you in your house, God bless you. But as for me in my house, I am more of a traditionalist when it comes to certain roles that the man plays and the woman plays. And if you have someone that truly is of masculine energy, that is a king in his own right, he most likely feels the same way, right? He most likely is more on the traditional side of things in certain areas. Now, of course, we evolve and things may be different now. No one's telling you to be a Stepford wife if you don't want to be, right? But there is a grand difference. And so, yes, 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 yes. And so when you tap into that, ladies, that's our power. See, when we look at it wrong and we've been convinced to believe that being wise and soft and girly, listen, I'm having so much fun being a girl. I'm having so much fun just being a girly girl, twirling my hair, smiling, being dainty, being softer, allowing myself to receive. See, that is one of the major keys that you will realize when it comes to feminine energy. Feminine energy receives. And so, because feminine energy receives, that means masculine energy is the giver. Masculine energy gives out. So now imagine, as the masculine energy wants to give and you're blocking that because you're not allowing yourself to receive, this is where the why what they say, the rubber hits the road. So imagine that. It's like if you were playing soccer. The goal and the objective of soccer is to get the ball into the goal, right? But if you have an opponent and your whole concept now is literally what you guys end up doing is like you're playing soccer. It's like the goalie's there to protect. You have a whole goalie here when in actuality the feminine woman is supposed to move away from the goalie and say, hey, come on and put your shot. That's what we're doing. So you're playing against each other by literally tapping in and not allowing yourself to receive. And that's sometimes a hard thing to do when someone who is a strong woman who has had to do everything on their own. It's hard to receive, especially if you're naturally a giver, right? And so I had to learn how to receive. I had to learn to say, no, let somebody else take care of that. No, actually, I would love to. What would you like to do? When would you like to go? Listen, it's all about how you make them feel, right? And so I see some comments coming up, and I'm going to get to your question in a moment. But that's the whole concept, right? You have to be able, this is what you got to think about. Masculine men need to feel like the hero. They need to feel like the hero. Their mind is wired in a way where it's like, how do I fix it? They're very logical. How do I fix it? How do I show up as Clark Kent, right? Sorry, Superman rather. That's their mindset. So now you have to give them opportunities to show up to be the hero. Simple stuff. What do I mean? Okay. If you're in the house and you're trying to open up a jar, now, of course, you could open the jar yourself. You don't need anybody's help, right? If it's not too tough, you could do it. But what do? Rather, babe, do you mind opening this for me? He's gonna come in there like he's Mr. Superman. Yeah, I got this. You can do I got this. He needs to feel that. He needs to feel like he just saved the day, right? The damsel in distress was saved by the prince charming by the king. He needs to feel that. You have to give him opportunities to feel as if he is the superhero, right? Remember, your job is to receive. His job is to give. And so if he's giving, you are now receiving. And in that space, when the two of you could come together, really understanding how you work so well together, how your feminine inspires him to do, that's the whole thing. Your feminine energy inspires him to go out and make things happen. I was watching a broadcast the other day, and in the broadcast, one of the men, who happens to be a very strong masculine man, he said that he is more of the traditional side of things, right? With masculine energy, feminine energy, and all that kind of stuff. And then we're talking about who serves who food in the relationship. And he went and said that he needs to feel served. He needs to be served, right? He creates a lifestyle for the woman that he's with, so he needs to be served. And he said, in him being served, it makes him go out and do more. It makes him go out and, work harder. See, it's all psychology. It's all psychology and it's all a game. Life is nothing but a game. I don't care what you say, whether it's the game of money, the game of relationships. Life is a game. And all you have to do is know how to play it. Just don't hurt nobody, right? That's the truth of what it is. And so he was saying that in him being served, he goes out and becomes more productive. He can go out and close more deals. He can go out and become, that much greater for his family. Well, this is the thing. If another woman who is trying to tap into that same energy, it would never work, right? It would never work. But the whole concept is in my feminine energy, in me serving, in me doing what I have to do to make you feel a certain way, I end up winning. That's what you gotta understand, ladies. When you tap into that, you're able to influence. See, we are very powerful. Women are the most powerful beings on the earth. Period. Period. Now, when we know how to master that power, everyone wins, right? And you use it for the greater good. Using it for the greater good changes everything. But see, one of the reasons why we have this big gap between people, wanting to tap into either side is because there's this big argument where many women feel as if they have to prove that they're equal to men. And so by proving that, oftentimes it's portrayed as, I can do this better than you. If you can go and pick up 100 pounds, I'm going to go and work out and get a trainer so I can prove that I can pick up 100 pounds too. Listen, baby, I don't want to pick up 100 pounds. I'm not trying to do what you're doing. The truth is, we are equal. I don't have to do what you do to prove that I am equal to you. That's foolishness. We are both equal yet different. God created us to be different yet equal. Hence why the woman comes from the rib of the man. We're walking alongside this journey. But what I'm not called to do is exactly what you're doing. See, while there's a woman trying to prove that she could pick up 100 pounds of weight, there's a smart feminine woman that knows that she can influence the man to pick up the weight. Now that's power. I didn't have to touch anything, but I inspired you to go pick it up. Do y'all understand what I'm saying here? So if you're someone that wants to be in a relationship with a king who has masculine energy, you have to tap into your feminine, because that is what attracts a man of that caliber and stays in a relationship. Right? Because one thing that you could be attractive and then they see you, oh wow, she's amazing, she looks amazing, I want her. And then they find out how masculine you are, it goes left. But you being able to bask in your femininity, bask in your ability to influence, in your ability to stroke that ego, honey, in that ability to receive and to create a safe place in you doing that. He's always going to want to stay. He's always going to want to do more for you because it's in his nature to provide. It's in his nature to make sure that you are protected on all levels, right? And so tapping into that blesses you. And this is not just in relationships, right? Because your feminine energy works in everything else. And we'll talk more about that another time. But keeping that in mind, that truly, if you want a masculine man, you better tap into your feminine. You out here trying to be just like him and wondering why it's not working. Let me read some of these questions here. Wow. So that's a very layered question that I cannot just answer on a live, right? Because there are different things to that. I don't know your situation. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you guys are going through counseling. I don't know that. And so I pray that your situation changes and that you make the necessary changes to protect yourself in that relationship. And if he can't properly lead you, how do you fix the energy? Yeah, that's a very layered question that requires coaching and understanding what your individual situation is like. But if you are, not in harm's way, think about reevaluating that relationship. Are you guys married? Are you guys going to counseling? What does that look like? What does your household in a relationship look like? What is being done to cultivate a different type of energy in that home? And, these are some of the things that we also want to know prior to getting into certain relationships and certain commitments. Life happens, things may have, caused a different shift. I don't know. But it's definitely one of those things that you have to dive deeper in on a private level. So, our great they express gratitude, learning how to communicate. Yes, absolutely. And Nakaya, that's an amazing point that you made. One of the greatest ways to start practicing how to be in your feminine energy and receiving is by being able to receive compliments. A lot of times we don't want to receive compliments because we walk in this, imposter syndrome. Last night I was in an amazing group of women who are very powerful women that are very influential. And one of the things that kept coming up for a lot of us was that imposter syndrome. We're great at what we do, and when someone compliments us, and it's like, oh no, that was nothing. That used to be me. I used to, oh my gosh, when I tell you, I would get compliments all the time, and I'll say, oh girl, this thing is old. But look how messed up my hair is. Like, I would always find something to deflect the compliment. It was like, no, receive it. So I started practicing for years to just receive compliments, and then it became natural. It's like, no, you're great. Receive that. And so being able to receive compliments is definitely a great way to start practicing your feminine energy. That's definitely the truth. And absolutely, the only person you can change is you. That's definitely the truth. You cannot change anyone. My pleasure, Shona. So listen, ladies, that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. Really consider your behavior. So look at your behavior now and ask yourself, are you that person that typically goes and initiates things? Are you that person that allows yourself to be open and receive? Or are you the person that does not like to receive compliments? Are you the person that likes to go and be the initiator? Are you the person sending the text message first? Are you the person calling first, right? Are you doing that? Praise God. Thank you, Andrea. Are you that person? Because this is the thing, it's going to, I'm glad you're working on it. It's going to turn them off. Like, that's going to turn him off real fast and in a hurry, because he's trying to find his place in your life. And if you're doing everything, why is he there? That's his thinking. And especially if you've been someone who's been single for a long time, we've created these new habits. This is who we've become after all these years. So it's only natural for you to go and get the groceries, take it out the car, bring it to the house, cook the food. Like, that's what you have to do. So now when it's time for somebody else to, like, he comes to get the bags, like, no, I got it, I'm good. What? No, you're not. Sit down, let him get the bags, honey. Oh, thank you so much. What? Can I pick it up? Of course I can. Wow, thank you. I really appreciate that. Now I don't have to strain my back. You're so amazing. Listen, take the bag, honey. Let him take the bag. Whatever he needs to do. Open the jar, open the door, stand, and wait for him to open the door. I will never forget this. I will never forget this. I remember when I lived in Atlanta and I was going to church one day, and from where I was coming from in the parking lot, it was from the side. And so one of the ministers, he was at the front of the parking lot, but I'm coming from the back. So I was getting ready to walk and open the door. And he literally was running. It's like, I got it, I got it, I got it. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, there are men that are actually run to get the door for you. How about that? Now, initially, I was thinking, it's not that serious. I can do it myself, sir. Thank you. God bless. No, let him open the door. So I would just go place and just wait. They probably, what is she doing? Why is she? Oh, you gonna? Oh, okay. Thank you. Strangers, listen. If there's a man behind me, I'm gonna sit there and wait. Whether I know you or not. Now that works a lot better in the South than it does here in New York City. But it works. Why? Because if he is in his masculine, he is naturally going to want to open the door for you. Period. He sees how there's an energy that a feminine woman possesses. So when you walk into an atmosphere, they feel it. So I could walk right now. It happens all the time. I'll go downstairs to my package room and there'll be a man there, going to go to the door as well. He's going to hold the door open or open it for me because of the energy that I put out. I'm in receiving mode. And let me tell you, it's so deep, ladies, to where you have to really work on your subconscious mind to receive. It's work, it's intentionality. And so in the same fashion that I talked to you all about changing your mindset, that also is in the same field when it comes to your feminine energy. So one of the things that I do, let me give you a little trick real quick. I listen to affirmations, even in my subconscious mind, as I'm sleeping, that speaks on receiving. The whole night as I'm sleeping, I'm listening to an affirmation telling me how I'm ready to receive all things that are amazing, all things that are divine. It's opening me up to new possibilities and new ideas, new relationships, new business relationships, new friends, open to receive. So my subconscious mind is now being reprogrammed to receive. So if you're waiting to receive, that means you're in expectation. And if you're in expectation, that means something must be delivered. Oh, I hope y'all got that. I hope y'all got that. And so women are receivers, our energy is light and fun. Absolutely. And they want to be around that. So imagine a man who is going to work every day or maybe in business and they're having to deal with closing deals and deal with life as a whole, especially as a Black man. And then now they come home to you and you just as hard as a man. You're just as hard as the men that he was dealing with. What in the world? Who wants to deal with that? That's no different than a woman who is super feminine and then has a super feminine man. She doesn't want that. We're not both sitting underneath the dryer, right? She doesn't want someone that's trying to defer to her, who's trying to receive. I'm trying to be good here. See, there are a lot of men that in this new current age and culture, many of which are calling themselves high valued men, that are really more so tapped in their feminine and that they are more so wanting to receive than actually give. But that's a different video for a different day. In fact, that's going to be in our Single Wise Academy. So the Single Wise Academy is coming up, ladies, and I'm so excited to share with you all the amazing things that will be coming up. Listen, when I tell you that the Single Wise Academy is going to bless your entire life, literally it is. I mean, there's going to be so much training and coaching and some amazing coaches who will share with you how to tap into your feminine self, or more importantly, how to receive the love that you have been believing for and what to do once it actually comes. That's the other thing. You get it and it's like, oh, now what? Right? So there's so much more to talk about. You'll be hearing more about it very soon. But thank you all for watching. Until next time, sign me up. Listen, I got you. Make sure that you stay tuned. Hey, listen, y'all. Make sure that you click on the notification button on my fan page so that way you know exactly when I go live. You guys know that Facebook likes to hate sometimes. So all of my nearly 30,000 followers on my fan page, barely see any of my content. So make sure that you go ahead, click the notification on the page so that way you're able to see every single time I go live. And the same goes for you that are watching on YouTube. Make sure you're connected and that you stay tuned because, honey, we got some amazing things coming up. Do you hear me? Y'all see the whole flower? I am manifesting right now. I am manifesting